Therīapadāna. The Legends of the Theris. Khattiya Chapter, the 4th. 31, 18,000 Kṣatriyan Maiden Buddhist nuns headed up by Yasovatī. O great sage, we are announcing. All existence has been destroyed. We're freed from ties to existence. All outflows don't exist for us. Doing previous good karma. Whatever may have been wished for. All of this stuff has been given. For the sake of you, O great sage. The wishes of Buddhas, lonely Buddhas and of the followers. All of this stuff has been given. For the sake of you, O great sage. This karma, both big and little. Excellent wish of Buddhist monks. And service to high-status clans. Has been done by us, O great sage. Incited by that wholesome root. Reaping the fruit of that karma. Surpassing all other humans. We were born in Kṣatriyan clans. Always together when we're born. When karma is done, and by caste. Born together in this last birth. We're Kṣatriyans, born in the clans. In the harem, O great hero. As though in the God's garden, joy. We're beautiful, very wealthy. Receiving honor and worship. Becoming wearied we went forth. From the home into homelessness. Remaining attached a few days. We all attained our nirvana. People are bringing many gifts. Monastic robes and alms to eat. Requisites as well as lodgings. We're always honored and worshipped. Our defilements are now burnt up. All new existence is destroyed. Like elephants with broken chains. We are living without constraint. Being in best Buddha's presence. Was a very good thing for us. The 3 knowledges are attained. We have done what the Buddha taught. The 4 analytical modes. And these 8 deliverances. 6 special knowledges mastered. We have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed 18,000 Kṣatriyan maiden Buddhist nuns headed up by famous Yasovatī spoke these verses. The legend of 18,000 Kṣatriyan maiden Buddhist nuns headed up by famous Yasovatī is finished. (32) 84,000 Brahmin maiden Buddhist nuns. O great sage, in your city are 84,000 young women. With very tender hands and feet. Who have been born in Brahmin clans. O great sage, in your city are many maidens from every land. Born in Vaishya and Sudra clans. And gods, snake gods and kinnaras. Some of them already went forth. Many have insight into truth. The gods, kinnaras and snake gods will enjoy this in the future. Experiencing every fame. Achieving every achievement. Those who've obtained pleasure in you will enjoy it in the future. And we're the daughters of Brahmins. Who have been born in Brahmin clans. Out of our desire, great sage. We worship your feet, Eiffel One. All existences have been reached. Cravings are torn out by the roots. Latent tendencies are cut off. Merit-based aggregates broken. All pasture in meditation. Likewise have mastered altered states. We will always live delighting in the teaching through altered states. The ties to being, ignorance. The aggregates, too, are cast off. We're born, O leader, having gone on the path very hard to see. For a long time you have been my servants, doing what's to be done. Cutting off the doubts of many. May you all go to nirvana. Having worshipped the sage's feet. They performed their superpowers. Some are showing very bright light. And after that making it dark. They are showing the moon and sun. And the great ocean with its fish. They're showing Mount Meru and the coral tree in heaven, girdled. Through superpower they're showing Tvatisa and Yama spheres. Tusita and Nimitta gods. And the Vasavatī great lords. Some are showing the Brahma gods. And a very costly walkway. Making themselves look like Brahma. They preach the Dhamma that's empty. Doing varied transformations. Showing Buddha's superpowers. They all demonstrated their strength. Then they worshipped the teacher's feet. We've mastered the superpowers. Like the divine ear element. We're also the masters, great sage. Of the knowledge in others' hearts. We remember our former lives. Our divine eyes are purified. All the defilements are destroyed. We will not be reborn again. In meaning and in the teaching. Etymology and preaching. This knowledge of ours was produced. In your presence, O great hero. Our meeting with all the Buddhas. The world lords, was displayed to you. Our extensive service to them. Was for the sake of you, great sage. O sage, recall the good karma. Which formerly was done by us. That merit was heaped up by us. For the sake of you, great hero. 100,000 eons hence. Pajamudara was the sage. The city named Yasovatī was the home of that Buddha's clan. The Ganges river always flows past the gate of Yasovatī. Buddhist monks are troubled by the river, unable to proceed. A day, then 2, and then it's 3. After that a week, next a month. Then fully 4 months, might pass 4. Those monks, unable to proceed. Then the future Buddha was a local leader, named Jila. Seeing those stranded Buddhist monks, he made a bridge on the river. Then, with 100,000 spent, the bridge on the river made, he made a monastery for the assembly on the nearer bank. The women as well as the men, from clans of high and low status, provided funds for equal shares. In his bridge and monastery. We and the other women too. In the city and countrysides. Who had minds that were very clear. Were rightful heirs of that karma. Women and men and boys as well. And also numerous young girls. Joined together to spread clean sand. For his bridge and monastery. Sweeping the roadway, making flags. Planting banners, pots of plenty. And having honored the teacher. With incense, kunnam and garlands. Having made the monastery. And the bridge, inviting the guide. After giving extensive alms. He aspired to awakening. Pajamudara, great hero. Crosser over of all that breathe. The great sage made his thanksgiving. To Bodhisattva Jila. Undergoing life after life. When 100,000 eons have passed, in the lucky aeon, he will attain awakening. These men and women who've arranged by hand what work was to be done, will all in futures yet to come be born together face to face. As the result of that karma, done with intention and resolve, reborn in heavens of the gods, they will all be your attendants. Transmigrating life after life. A long time we experienced. Countless years of divine pleasure. And countless such human rebirths. For 100,000 eons. Well done karma's attainment, we're tender girls among men, likewise. In the superb city of gods. Beautiful, wealthy and famous. And also praised and respected. We are constantly receiving that well done karma's attainment. When our last rebirth was attained, we are born in a Brahmin clan, with very tender hands and feet, in the home of the Sakyan prince. We are never seeing the earth when it is undecorated, and we do not see muddy roads when they have not been cleaned, great sage. When we were living in the house, we were respected all the time. They're always bringing everything. Through the strength of our past karma. After abandoning our homes. Going forth into homelessness. We have crossed the road of rebirth. We have become free of passion. All the time they are bringing us monastic robes and alms to eat, requisites as well as lodgings. By the thousands and more. Our defilements are now burnt up. All new existence is destroyed. Like elephants with broken chains. We are living without constraint. Being in best Buddha's presence was a very good thing for us. The three knowledges are attained. We have done what the Buddha taught. The four analytical modes. And these 8 deliverances. 6 special knowledges mastered. We have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed 84,000 Brahmin maiden Buddhist nuns spoke these verses. The legend of 84,000 Brahmin maiden Buddhist nuns is finished. (33) Uppaladāyikā. In Yasovatī city, lived the Kṣatriyan Yasovatī. I was then the wife of that king. In that place I was practicing. Gone off alone and sitting down. I then reflected on it like this. There's no good karma done by me to take along on my journey. Am I not then going to hell? Burning red hot, very cruel. With a gruesome form, and bitter? For me there's no doubt about that. Having thought it through in that way. Bringing pleasure to my own mind. After going up to the king, I spoke these words entreating him. O king, we who are called women always follow behind our men. Give me a single Buddhist monk. I shall feed him, O Kṣatriyan. At that time the king gave to me a monk with senses well controlled. After picking up his alms bowl, I filled it with exquisite food. Filling it with exquisite food, having removed a fine garment, which was valued at 1,000. I gave it with a happy mind. Due to that karma done very well. With intention and firm resolve. Discarding my human body. I went to Khattiya then. I was fixed in the chief queen's place. Of 1,000 kings of the gods. I was fixed in the chief queen's place. Of 1,000 will-turning kings. There was also much local rule. Innumerable by counting. And there was much other, varied. Fruit of that karma thereafter. I'm always blue lotus colored. Very beautiful, good looking. A woman endowed in all parts. Of noble birth and radiant. When my last rebirth was attained. I was born in the Sakyan clan. Leader of 1,000 women. Attached to Suddhadana's son. Becoming wearied in the home. I went forth into homelessness. Before the 7th night occurred. I attained the 4 noble truths. I cannot count the gifts received. Monastic robes and alms to eat. Requisites as well as lodgings. That's the fruit of giving alms food. O sage, recall the good karma, which formerly was done by me. Much of mine has been sacrificed. For the sake of you, great hero. In the 31 eons since. I gave that almsgiving back then. I've come to know no bad rebirth. That's the fruit of giving alms food. I transmigrate in just 2 states. As a goddess or a woman. I do not know other rebirths. That's the fruit of giving alms food. When human I'm born in high clans. Which have big halls, very wealthy. I do not witness lesser clans. That's the fruit of giving alms food. Transmigrating life after life. Incited by my wholesome roots. I do not see what does not please. Fruit of deeds done with happy mind. I've mastered the superpowers. Like the divine ear element. I'm also a master, great sage. Of the knowledge in others' hearts. I remember my former lives. My divine eye is purified. All the defilements are destroyed. I will not be reborn again. In meaning and in the teaching. Etymology and preaching. This knowledge of mine was produced. In your presence, O great hero. My defilements are now burnt up. All new existence is destroyed. Like elephants with broken chains. I am living without constraint. Being in best Buddha's presence was a very good thing for me. The three knowledges are attained. I have done what the Buddha taught. The four analytical modes. And these 8 deliverances. 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed the Bhikkhuni Uppaladāyikā spoke these verses face to face with the Blessed One. The legend of the Bhikkhuni Uppaladāyikā is finished. (34) Sigālaka-mātā. The victor, Pajamudara, was a master of everything. That leader arose in the world 100,000 eons hence. I was born in Yasovatī. In a clan of ministers then. Rich, prosperous, very wealthy. Glistening with various gems. Going along with my father. Surrounded by a multitude. Having heard the Buddha's teaching. I went forth into homelessness. After going forth I gave up evil karma with the body. I purified my way of life. Except for poor conduct through speech. Pleased in the Buddha, teaching and assembly, eager, respectful. Used to hearing the great teaching. I'm greedy to see the Buddha. I then heard of a Buddhist nun. Foremost among those freed by faith. Aspiring to attain that place. I then fulfilled the 3 trainings. The rest for those seeking pity. The well-gone one, thereupon said this. He whose faith in the thus gone one is well established, not shaking. And whose morals are beautiful. Dear to noble people, and praised. Whose insight is upright and whose pleasure is in the assembly. It is said, he is not wretched. His life's considered not useless. Therefore, wise ones, commit yourselves to faith and to morality. To Dhamma insight and pleasure. Pith of Buddha's dispensation. Hearing that, being overjoyed, I questioned him about my wish. Then the Supreme, Measureless One, the Guide, prophesied in this way. Lovely one, pleased in the Buddha. You will receive that well-wished place. In 100,000 eons. Arising in Okaka's clan. The one whose name is Gautama. Will be the teacher in the world. Worthy heir to that one's Dhamma. Dhamma's legitimate offspring. She named Sigālaka's mother. Will be the teacher's follower. Gladdened after having heard that. With a heart that was full of love. As long as life I then served the victor, guide, through my practices. Due to that karma done very well. With intention and firm resolve. Discarding my human body. I went to Khattiya then. And now, in my final rebirth. In Therīapadāna, best city. I was born to rich millionaires. With a huge quantity of gems. My son was named Sigālaka. Taking delight on the wrong road. Slipped into the jungle of views. Keen to worship the directions. Standing on the road, the Buddha, the guide, advised him, seeing him coming toward the city praising the directions with balls of food. When he was preaching the Dhamma, there were amazing shrieks of joy. 20 million men and women gained insight into the teaching. Then having gone into the crowd, having heard the well-gone one speech, gaining the fruit of stream entry, I went forth into homelessness. After not a very long time, hankering to see the Buddha, refining mindfulness through him, I attained my arahantship. I'm going every single day. In order to see the Buddha. I'm dissatisfied looking at only his eye-pleasing body. Produced by all the perfections. Excellent lair of good fortune. His body, strewn with all goodness. Dissatisfied, I'm living there. The victor, pleased at that virtue, placed me in that foremost place. The mother of Sigālakas. foremost among those freed by faith. I've mastered the superpowers. Like the divine ear element. I'm also a master, great sage. Of the knowledge in others' hearts. I remember my former lives. My divine eye is purified. All the defilements are destroyed. I will not be reborn again. In meaning and in the teaching. Etymology and preaching. This knowledge of mine was produced. In your presence, O great hero. My defilements are now burnt up. All new existence is destroyed. Like elephants with broken chains. I am living without constraint. Being in best Buddha's presence was a very good thing for me. The three knowledges are attained. I have done what the Buddha taught. The four analytical modes. And these 8 deliverances. 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed the Bhikkhuni Sigālaka-mātā spoke these verses. The legend of Sigālaka-mātā Theri is finished. (35) Sukkā. 91 eons ago the leader, whose name was Vipassī, arose. The one good to look at, the one with eyes for everything. I was then in Bandamati. Born in an undistinguished clan. Having heard the sage's teaching, I went forth into homelessness. Learned bearer of the teaching. Good preacher, varied discourser. I was a nun who practiced the dispensation of the Buddha. Then giving many Dhamma talks. With friendship to the populace. Fallen from there I was reborn. Full of splendor, in Tusita. 31 eons hence, Siki. A heap of fire, burning with fame. The victor, the best debater. The Buddha, arose in the world. At that very time going forth. Skilled in Buddha's dispensation. Making the victor's sayings shine. I then went to the 30 gods. The leader named Vesabu, too. Arose 31 eons hence. And then as well I was the same. A Buddhist nun with vast knowledge. Gone forth, a Dhamma bearer, I. Made Buddha's dispensation shine. Gone to the lovely God's city. I experienced great comfort. In this present lucky aeon. Kakasanda, supreme victor. Arose, the excellent leopard. And then as well I was the same. Gone forth, I illuminated. The sage's thought, as long as life. Fallen from there, I went as far as the sphere of the 30 gods. And in this very same aeon, the leader Kanagamana arose next, the excellent lamp, ultimate among all beings. At that time too, going forth in the neutral one's dispensation. Learned bearer of Dhamma, I. Made Buddha's dispensation shine. Also in this lucky aeon. Kassapa Buddha, 7th sage. Arose, the refuge of the world. Non-hostile one, ender of death. Gone forth in the dispensation. Of that hero among men as well. I learned the good teaching by heart. Was confident in inquiry. Very moral, also modest. Very skilled in the 3 trainings. Giving many talks on Dhamma. With friendship as long as I lived. Due to that karma done very well. With intention and firm resolve. Discarding my human body. I went to Vatisa then. And now, in my final rebirth. In Jaribaja, best city. I was born to rich millionaires. With a huge quantity of gems. When Gautama, the world's leader, surrounded by 1,000 monks, entered the city, Rajgir, he was praised by the 1,000-eyed god. The restrained one, with former ascetics restrained. The liberated one, with those liberated. Who had the same color as a coin made of gold. The blessed one entered Rajagaha city. Seeing the Buddha's majesty. And hearing him, heap of virtues. Pleasing my heart in the Buddha. I worshipped him with all my strength. At some moment after that, in the presence of Dhammadinna, having gone forth from my own home, I went forth into homelessness. I destroyed all the defilements, while my hair was being cut off. Going forth, in no long time, I learned Buddha's entire dispensation. After that I preached the Dhamma in a huge gathering of folks. While Dhamma was being preached, there was insight into the teaching. Seeing varied thousands of folks achieving insight, astonished. A spirit, very pleased by me, roaming about Rajgir said this. Why are these people in Rajgir acting like nymphs drunk on honey? Unless they're honoring Sukkā. Who's preaching the ambrosial state? Methinks the wise are drinking that irresistible and unmixed strength bestower, like travelers drink rainwater from a rain cloud. I've mastered the superpowers, like the divine ear element. I'm also a master, great sage, of the knowledge in others' hearts. I remember my former lives. My divine eye is purified. All the defilements are destroyed. I will not be reborn again. In meaning and in the teaching, etymology and preaching, this knowledge of mine was produced. In your presence, O great hero. My defilements are now burnt up. All new existence is destroyed. Like elephants with broken chains, I am living without constraint. Being in best Buddha's presence was a very good thing for me. The three knowledges are attained. I have done what the Buddha taught. The four analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances. 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed the Bhikkhuni Sukkā spoke these verses. The legend of Sukkā Theri is finished. (36) Abhirūpanandā. 91 eons ago the leader, whose name was Vipassī, arose. The one good to look at, the one with eyes for everything. I was then in Bandamati, born in a large clan, prosperous and rich, beautiful and held dear. I am worshipped by the people. Having approached the great hero, Vipassī, leader of the world, hearing the teaching, I went for refuge in the leader of men, having been restrained in morals. When the best man reached nirvana, I offered a gold umbrella on top of the relic stupa. I'm freely generous, moral. As long as life, fallen from there, discarding my human body, I went to Khattiya then. In 10 ways I was outshining all the other gods who lived there. Through shapes and sounds and fragrances. Through tastes and the things that I touch. In terms of lifespan, complexion, happiness and famousness too. And likewise through supreme power. I shone, having attained those 10. And now, in my final rebirth, I'm born in Kapilavastu. I'm well known by the name Nanda, the Sakyan Kamaka's daughter. The nickname, very beautiful, indicated my loveliness. When I had attained discretion, I'm adorned with gorgeous beauty. Then there was a very big fight over me among the Sakyans. Then my father had me ordained. Don't let the Sakyas be destroyed. Going forth like that, having heard that the Supreme Man hates beauty, I did not approach the Buddha, bring proud about my beauty, not even going for advice. I'm afraid to see the Buddha. Then the victor had me led to his presence by means of a trick. Clever in the path, the Buddha made 3 different women appear, with forms like celestial nymphs. One young, one diseased, the third dead. Seeing them, very moved, I was freed from delighting in bodies. I stood there, weary of being. Then the leader said this to me. Nanda, see this complex heap as diseased, disgusting and putrid. It is oozing and it's dripping. The delight of foolish people. With one pointed focus, steadfast. Fix your mind on impurity. Just as is this, so too is that. Just as is that, so too is this. Considering that in this way, industrious by night and day, you will see with your own wisdom, having turned away in disgust, not delaying in that purpose, thinking it all through thoroughly. I saw this body as it is, on the inside and the outside. Then I'm disgusted with bodies, and inwardly free of passion. Not negligent, no longer yoked. At peace, and I've reached nirvana. I've mastered the superpowers. Like the divine ear element. I'm also a master, great sage. Of the knowledge in others' hearts. I remember my former lives. My divine eye is purified. All the defilements are destroyed. I will not be reborn again. In meaning and in the teaching. Etymology and preaching. This knowledge of mine was produced. In your presence, O great hero. My defilements are now burnt up. All new existence is destroyed. Like elephants with broken chains. I am living without constraint. Being in best Buddha's presence was a very good thing for me. The three knowledges are attained. I have done what the Buddha taught. The four analytical modes. And these 8 deliverances. 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed the Bhikkhuni Abhirūpanandā spoke these verses. The legend of Abhirūpanandā Theri is finished. (37) Addhakāsikā. In this present lucky aeon, Brahma's kinsman, greatly famed one, the Buddha known as Kassapa was born, the best of debaters. At that time, having been ordained in that Buddha's dispensation, I'm restrained in the 5 senses, and in monastic discipline. Moderate in eating, I was committed to being watchful, dwelling fixed on practice. One time, however, with a filthy mind, I slandered an undefiled nun by saying, she's a prostitute. Because of that evil karma, I roasted in a fearful hell. Due to the rest of that karma, I was born in a clan of whores, repeatedly committing sins. And then in my final rebirth, I'm born among the Kṣatriyans, in a millionaire's clan. Due to former celibacy I was gorgeous, like a nymph among gods. Seeing my extreme beauty, in Rajgir, best city, they made me enter prostitution due to my formerly having slandered. After hearing the good teaching, which was preached by the best Buddha, endowed with former impressions, I went forth into homelessness, seeking ordination having gone into the victor's presence. Hearing that rogues were on the road, I got ordained by messenger. All my karma has been burnt up. Merit and likewise evil too. Birth and rebirth crossed beyond. And prostitutions thrown away. I've mastered the superpowers. Like the divine ear element. I'm also a master, great sage. Of the knowledge in others' hearts. I remember my former lives. My divine eye is purified. All the defilements are destroyed. I will not be reborn again. In meaning and in the teaching. Etymology and preaching. This knowledge of mine was produced. In your presence, O great hero. My defilements are now burnt up. All new existence is destroyed. Like elephants with broken chains. I am living without constraint. Being in best Buddha's presence was a very good thing for me. The 3 knowledges are attained. I have done what the Buddha taught. The 4 analytical modes. And these 8 deliverances. 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed the Bhikkhuni Addhakāsikā spoke these verses. The legend of Addhakāsikā is finished. Pyuk. Gone forth in the dispensation of the Blessed One. Vipassī, and of Sikhi and Vesabu, T. He sage Kakusanda Buddha, Kanagamana, neutral one. And of the Buddha Kasapa. I'm a nun endowed with morals, clever, with senses well controlled. Learned bearer of the teaching. Asker of the teaching's meaning. Studier of, listener to. And worshipper of the teaching. Amidst the people I'm preaching. In the victor's dispensation. Because of my profound learning. I despised kind associates. And now, in my final rebirth. I am a water jug slave girl. Born in Sravasti, best city. In Anthapika's house. Gone bearing a load of water. I saw an erudite Brahmin. Standing in the water, chilly. After seeing him I said this. Bearing water I always go. Down to the water in the cold. Scared with fear of the master's stick. Oppressed by fear of faults called out. Of what are you afraid, Brahmin? Limbs shivering you always go. Down to the water, so much cold. Being experienced by you. You certainly know, Pyuk. You are asking me who's doing wholesome karma and warding off karma with evil consequence. Whether he is old is young. One who performs evil karma. Just by sprinkling himself with water. Is freed from that evil karma. I spoke a verse of Dhamma to him coming out of the water. Hearing that he was very moved. Gone forth, he was an arahant. When I was born in the slave clan. I completed the full 100. Therefore they named me Completer. And freed me from my slavery. Getting the millionaire's consent. I went forth into homelessness. After not a very long time. I attained my arahantship. I've mastered the superpowers. Like the divine ear element. I'm also a master, great sage. Of the knowledge in others' hearts. I remember my former lives. My divine eye is purified. All the defilements are destroyed. I will not be reborn again. In meaning and in the teaching. Etymology and preaching. This knowledge of mine was produced. In your presence, O great hero. Through meditation, very wise. Through what has been heard, one's learned. But karma will not be destroyed. Through the pride of those of high birth. My defilements are now burnt up. All new existence is destroyed. Like elephants with broken chains. I am living without constraint. Being in best Buddha's presence. Was a very good thing for me. The 3 knowledges are attained. I have done what the Buddha taught. The 4 analytical modes. And these 8 deliverances. 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed the Bhikkhuni Pyuk spoke these verses. The legend of Pyuk Theri is finished. Ambapālī. The great sage was Phussa Buddha. Like a garland of speckled rays. I was that Buddha's own sister. Born in Buddha's Kṣatriyan clan. Having listened to his teaching. With a mind that was very clear. Giving him a large almsgiving. I aspired to achieve beauty. 31 eons in the past. Sikhi, chief leader of the world. Arose, the bright lamp of the world. The 3 worlds refuge, the victor. I'm then born in a Brahmin clan. In lovely Rua city. Angered about something, I cursed. A nun with liberated mind. Misbehaved like a prostitute. I dirted the dispensation. Having thus cursed the nun like that. Because of that evil karma. I went to a horrific hell, full of terrible suffering. Fallen from there, again reborn. Human, I was an ascetic. For 10,000 different lifetimes, I was fixed in prostitution. Thus I was not freed from evil, as though I'd eaten strong poison. In Kasapa's dispensation, I practiced celibate nunhood. Due to that karma, I was born in the city of the 30. When my last rebirth was attained, come to be spontaneously, I was born amidst mango boughs. Therefore I was mango guarded, along with 10 million beings. Gone forth in the dispensation, I attained the unshaking state. Buddha's legitimate daughter. I've mastered the superpowers, like the divine ear element. I'm also a master, great sage, of the knowledge in others' hearts. I remember my former lives. My divine eye is purified. All the defilements are destroyed. I will not be reborn again. In meaning and in the teaching, etymology and preaching, this knowledge of mine was produced. In your presence, O great hero. My defilements are now burnt up. All new existence is destroyed. Like elephants with broken chains, I am living without constraint. Being in best Buddha's presence was a very good thing for me. The three knowledges are attained. I have done what the Buddha taught. The four analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances. 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed the Bhikkhuni Ambapālī spoke these verses. The legend of the Bhikkhuni Ambapālī is finished. Selā. In this present lucky aeon, Brahma's kinsman, greatly famed one, the Buddha known as Kṣatriya was born. The best of debaters. I'm born in a lay Buddhist clan. In Sravasti, superb city. Having seen that superb victor, and having heard him preach Dhamma, gone to that hero for refuge, I undertook morality. Whenever that great hero, in the midst of the great populace, the bull of men was explaining his own supreme awakening, things which formerly were unheard. Starting with, life is suffering. Hearing that, and taking it up. Insight, thinking, wisdom, science, and intuition rose in me. And I asked the monks about them. In Kasapa's dispensation, I practiced celibate nunhood. Due to that karma, I was born in the city of the 30. And now, in my final rebirth, born in a large millionaire's clan. Having approached and having heard the Buddha's great truth-filled teaching, having gone forth, in no long time, I understood truth's foundations. Casting away all defilements, I achieved my arahantship.